California tribes lawmakers are preparing for the second annual Native American Heritage Month Parade. It's all happening in Sacramento, and joining us live to talk about it is Assemblymember James C. Ramos. He's the chair of the California Legislative Native American Caucus. Mr. Ramos, thank you so much for joining us. So tell us a little bit more about Native American Heritage Month and why you think this is something people need to be more aware of.
So National Native American Heritage Month is something that's been acknowledged through the United States and different states here in the United States. But what hasn't happened is the general community understanding and knowing that November is National Native American Heritage Month. So we're doing our best as California Indian people in general, to make sure that we're having different festivities and a parade in Sacramento.
And I think sometimes that people, maybe unless they grew up here in California and took history classes, California history classes here, they may not realize how many tribes are here, even just that we're here in the downtown area, and, how many tribes are still there today.
Definitely, right there in Sacramento in the downtown area where the capital is, that's Miwok-Nisenan territory. And the people themselves are going to be the ones coming out and emceeing the parade themselves here. We have the chairwoman, Sarah Dusky from Ion Band, and vice chair, Raquel Williams from Wilton Rancheria. We also have a monument on the Capitol grounds now dedicated to California's first people of a Miwok-Nisenan leader. It's real important to truly understand that all the land that people walk on in the state of California is traditionally tribal land.
What's the number one thing that you want people to learn this Native American Heritage Month?
In Native American Heritage Month, we have to have open minds to the true history, the true culture, and the amount of tribes and people that call California home. California has the highest population of Native Americans than any other state in the nation. Yet, the true history and the curriculum in the state of California in the education system does not absorb that true history. So National Native American Heritage Month is a time where we could open up our minds and not so much go back to the stereotypes that people have seen Indian people, Native Americans in the United States and the state of California, but have an open mind to the true history and the true culture of California's first people and this nation's first people.
And these tribes are alive and well, and a lot of people are still a part of them. Let's talk about the parade that is set for Saturday, November 8th, right? It begins at 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. What can we expect?
So November 8th is the second National Native American Heritage Month parade in the state of California. And we will go down Capitol Mall and to the west steps of the Capitol, where cultural performances will be done, and education around issues that are still important to our people. You'll see an array of different tribal people represented, not only from the state of California, but throughout the nation. We have in our areas, we'll have Miwoks that'll come down and sing their traditional songs, Southern California intertribal bird singers that will sing traditional songs from Southern California, and Yurok brush dancers from Eureka up in California singing traditional songs. We have over 100 entries at this point, and it's still not too late for tribes to be able to join in, contact our office, and join in the parade, the second one in the state's history.
All right, and very educational. If you're not part of a Native American tribe, maybe you didn't learn it in school or learn it growing up, and it sounds like it's going to be extremely educational with all of the performers and the education that will be given on the West Steps. Assemblymember Ramos, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for taking and acknowledging National Native American Heritage Month.
Absolutely. Thank you.